What are the benefits of single minute exchange of dies? This method, when we apply the first time, normally it achieves 50% reduction in setup time. So imagine if you have reduced the setup time to 50%, you have this time. Instead of doing the setup on the machine, we can produce more parts in this time. That is how we can increase the productivity, because if we have applied this method on a bottleneck process and we are producing more parts, so with the same number of workers on the machine in the production line, we are producing more parts. So this will increase the productivity of our line. The second benefit of reducing setup time is the flexibility. How we can achieve the flexibility? Imagine we have reduced 50% setup time. Now we can also reduce 50% our lot size. So it means we will have the same effort, same amount of time to do setup time, but we can double the number of lots because our lot size is reduced. Imagine earlier we were producing 100 parts in a lot, but now we have reduced the setup time 50%. Now we can produce a lot size of 50 parts, and we will not decrease the productivity, we will not decrease the output, but we will produce, instead of 10 parts, 10 lots per day, we can produce 20 lots per day. What will happen with that? If we were producing earlier, imagine 10 articles in a day, and our dispatch department could deliver to the 10 different customers. Now, because we can produce in smaller lot sizes, we can produce 20 different articles, and our dispatch department can serve much more customers, maybe 15 more customers in total, or 20 customers, because every day we are producing in small lots, but a good mix of different parts. This is how we can serve our customers, different customers, in much shorter period of time, which is an enormous advantage in today's world. The third benefit is the cost. If we have reduced, for example, 50% of our setup time, in this saved time we can produce more parts. So all the number of people in the line, all are the same, we are producing more parts. So we have reduced our direct and indirect costs there. The other way, if we, instead this saved setup time, we are using to reduce the lot size, with that we are bounding 50% less parts in the production. Earlier there was a lot of 100 parts going through the production. Now there are 50 parts going through the production. So it means the bound capital in the production for that size is now 50%. We need 50% less parts to start the machine. That means the inventory, the raw material inventory from our suppliers, we can reduce maybe to 50%. And also the finished goods inventory, we can also reduce to 50% because the lot size is now smaller. We can have a variety of different lots, but we can also reduce the inventory. Earlier, 10 batches would have 1,000 pieces. Now 10 batches would have only 500 pieces. With that, the cash flow of the company will improve, and the bound capital in the whole production will be 50% less. The fourth benefit of reducing the setup time is the quality. We have seen if we reduce the setup time, we can reduce the lot size. So imagine earlier we were producing 100 parts and sending this lot size of 100 parts to our customer process, and there it could detect any non-conformity, any quality defect or anything. With that, all the 100 parts, the probability is very high that all the 100 parts are affected with this defect. Now, with the setup time reduction, if we reduce the lot size to 50% and we are leaving our customer process in much smaller sizes, now if customer process detects any defect in the part, definitely maximum affected parts will be 50 and not 100. So the smaller the lot size we have, the quicker feedback from the customer process we will get in the previous process that my parts are good, or I have any defect or anything. This feedback loop from customer process to the supplier process will be 50% quicker. Therefore, the number of parts affected by quality defects will also be 50% less. The last benefit we have here on the list is the leveling. So we have reduced the lot size. The different parts in the production might have different bottleneck processes. Part A might be a bottleneck process on process 1, but the type 2 part might be the bottleneck process on process number 2. So if we have the larger lot sizes in the production, our one process number 1 for example, might be a bottleneck process for longer period of time, and the supplier process of this process or the customer process of this process might run out of buffer, might run out of the parts to produce. So, and that lost time can never be recovered. But on the other hand, if we have smaller lot sizes, so therefore the bottleneck process will switch in the production from process 1 to process 2 very quickly. And with that, the supplier and the customer processes might use their buffer in that time. So with that, there are more chances that supplier and the customer process are not running out of stock and they can produce continuously. So that is also a very big benefit which is hidden, which is not very easy to recognize, which is delivered by the shorter lot sizes in the production.